Hello, hi, and I've before I completely begin with my display of baking art and few political points I had to discuss. I'd like to first say that you can try to make butter, oats butter out of oats milk, which you get from extracting oats milk from soaked oats, blended and milled and blended with water and then strained. So you get oats milk that way, and you can maybe hope to make oats butter, which would be vegan if you're into that sort of thing. Or so I tried this, all right, with milk, with my spaghetti maker, because the butter churner on the internet showed you know, a paddle, a couple of paddles, as in paddles, as in an ice cream maker, ice cream machine, and um, uh, I thought an egg beater would work, but an egg beater does not work. So here is the color from milk which I got, spaghetti maker, and there is part two there, and there's some pink, pink leading to blue. Which is interesting. Where did it come from the milk? All right, milk is showing me Newton's prism. Drink milk. Children should drink milk. So they stay hale and healthy and grow well, develop well, and that's the moral of the story, I guess. Because I got colors, I didn't clean it, I saved it, but I cannot churn butter. All right. So now moving on. I have this. We all know the Canadian elections happened not so long ago. Prime Minister Mark Carney came into power. The Liberals didn't get a complete majority, but it was pretty good, a pretty good turnout. And the Conservatives came a close second. And but both the Conservatives and the third party, NDP, of course, there are other two parties. I mean, this is not US politics, just Democrats and Republicans. There's the Bloc Québécois, there's the Green Party. They all have their own, but the leader of both the Conservative Party and the NDP, New Democratic Party, lost the election. Pierre Poilievre, remember I did a little dance, Newfoundland dance, and he was born in Newfoundland, but grew up in Calgary. He's lost a seat though, and he ran from Ottawa, Carleton. All right, there's a Carleton University, maybe that's the location. So Newfoundland Fisheries Act, fishing is a popular thing. So I made a edible fish. It's a bun. It's a stuffed mozzarella bun. I usually make it with chopped onions and chopped tomatoes. It's a little, you have to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of red chili flakes, some mozzarella. A lot of mozzarella makes it too cheesy. So this is it. And going back to Justin Trudeau's government, the first one leading to Mark Carney's government, Liberal government, I showed you Monet's baking art, Monet's colors as maple leaves, and three policies of Justin Trudeau, which Mark Carney will continue. STEM, feminist policy, and then LGBTQ friendly. So the Fisheries Act actually dates back to 1985, I believe, 1985, or was that 19? Pierre Trudeau's government was there in 1985, was it? I have to go back to my own. Probably not, because they moved to Montreal. Justin Trudeau and his family. Justin Trudeau was a young lad, and he redid. But I think that his father came back to power. I think, yeah. So they moved back to Ottawa. So in Montreal school, where until then they had done English, because I don't think there was French immersion. In Canada, we have French immersion. Spanish is such a huge thing in the US now, but it was not when I lived in the US. All right, 92, 93. So I think Justin Trudeau redid grade 8 and, then French immersion. And but Montreal was quite English, because I just watched a video of Pierre Trudeau, And oh, such style. Reminds me of Gene Hackman. All right, French Connection. Yeah, yeah, the man. All right, so in the end, he answered an interview, long interview. So they filled queue, and he said they were bandits. They had killed a minister, a Quebec minister, and they were holding somebody for ransom. This is really political crime drama, and it was purely Trudeau's government then, and there was a bourassa in Quebec. In Quebec, there was a bourassa, and he had policemen on the streets, the army maybe, and or maybe just the army. Even I'm not too sure. I'm a little hazy. Written about this. So he took his time. So he answered. He considered the bandits, but the interviewer, the journalist, said they were political prisoners. He had some of them in prison, and in the end, the interviewer walks up. So he addresses a staff member, fellow staff member. Oh, I haven't written that. I forgot. Sorry. I have to say this. All right. This is Hollywood actor. So he addresses this guy. So he says, in Gene Hackman's time, you imagine Gene Hackman playing Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Alas, he's dead. All right, hell of a deal for you. Well, too much. All right, so that is so the Fisheries Act in Newfoundland, Labrador, gave the Indigenous people some of the not ownership, I would say, some of the rights and to fish. And the Justin Trudeau government in 2019 said that fish had to be conserved. They were an environmental wealth, piece of environment. They were fauna which had to be protected, and but he scores a silver, Justin Trudeau, because he didn't actually say, or maybe just the law on the internet from the Government of Canada website didn't say how actually they should be conserved. Because you're always fishing, fish are dying. More maybe fish eggs, fish food, fish-friendly food. Lilo and Stitch Part 2 is back. My son was young when Lilo and Stitch 1 came. Fish food, tuna. There's a piece of dialogue. Watch 1 and then watch 2. So that might be, something to ponder about. So he scores a silver. It's not quite sure how. Oh, that's the secret of the government. So the Mark Carney government is going to work on it. 3, there was Jagmeet Singh, the NDP leader, an Indian Sikh, and he was the leader of the NDP, and his riding was in British Columbia, British Columbia, and he lost the seat as well. But the NDP didn't do as well as it did the last time. But nevertheless, they're a third party, and referring to BC, Justin Trudeau gets a sort of a shiny bronze, though. A shiny bronze because he apologized for the residential school system, but before that, Stephen Harper had, held a whole investigation and that sort of thing. There was a report. They were they were all appointed. I forget the exact term now. The report was called the Truth and Reconciliation, and so this is bronze for Jagmeet Singh or for Justin Trudeau. Not for Jagmeet Singh, for a third party, of course. That's for Jagmeet Singh. This is for Justin Trudeau because it was not good. So this is a candlebra for the Indigenous children, boys and girls who were unearthed from the unmarked graves with crosses, though. But it's debatable because this is a candlebra, and I get the picture of a candlebra from a helpful product information catalog from William Ashley, a store, an upscale store in Toronto. All right, I have a William Ashley piece. You want to see my William Ashley piece, which I picked up for $40? I had two. I had a really expensive coupon. Okay, this is not okay. This way, the golden thing in the background. That's for $40. But I had a real during my car days. I'd spent on a mask, a glass mask, and yeah, I had returned it. They'd given me a coupon. I'd even bought dog-shaped chocolates from William Ashley for my son, 8 of them. All right, and this um, coupon I spent, and my husband said, "I don't want to see anything from William Ashley. Throw it. I don't care." So back then, I thought this was strategy to come back into the workforce. So I actually sent Barack Obama then as president and Stephen Harper as prime minister expensive items. I would like them back, but they're not with them. You can't hold them responsible. Somehow, in between, something strange happens. Canada Post does not know. Somebody pulls a Harry Potter trick somewhere, and it could possibly be, Sybil, I think, but I cannot pinpoint fingers, and so it stays there. So yeah, and that's the Candelabra. Is burning golden, and but this is for Justin Trudeau, the Browns. Golden for the for the souls of the dead indigenous children who died from disease, abuse, neglect, and hunger. Isn't that sad? Yeah, that was really sad. So we should maintain it. I should actually play a bit of music, I thought, but you play it on your own time. Listen to some sad classical music and mourn for the children who so died, unfortunately. But the unmarked graves without gravestones, etc. But would they have wanted a Christian burial? Catholic Church, Pope Leo the Fourth. You have to answer this because it's debatable whether they needed a Christian burial but at this time they would need Christian burials because all the indigenous people have converted to Christianity. Their gods are becoming extinct. So we need to, you'll come back, snow, ice, and everything easily. We resurrect indigenous gods because they're natural to all of this. Hiking trails. Oh my God, you're going to do the toughest hiking trails easily and everything. Indigenous gods. But then Christ will lose. So the Hindu gods. Do I really want this? But Hindu gods scare me. Too many women, beautiful women, and the men, snakes, the friendly forms are nice. Friendly forms of all of them. And that being said, lastly, what did I want to say? I'll just drink a little bit of sip of water. I just wanted to say this is not confirmed. And I know this through, and please don't ask anybody about this because Justin Trudeau was there in the throne speech when King Charles III gave his throne speech. Looking a little confused, but very smiling, very friendly, which is a little at odds because it's Prime Minister Mark Carney's government, and he's not at the top of the ladder now after 3 terms. Very affable, very friendly, very amicable. So, he seemed to be from Flash. Mark Carney, of course, totally at ease with questions and quite purely Trudeau and Justin Trudeau there. But that is to be expected. For a man with a lot of education, has to live up to expectations. All right. He has a PhD. He's Oxford University educated. And of course, before that, Harvard University educated, undergraduate degree, Harvard. So some things are expected of him. All right. So we hope to. Yeah, we hope to see a lot of good economic policies and a turnaround in the GDP higher. Yeah, because the pandemic killed a lot. Made Justin Trudeau spend a lot on the so we are still recovering. So maybe grocery prices will go down, and who knows, clothes and in particular April Cornett's clothes will come down in prices. Well, we hope from Prime Minister Carney a number of, but these are other things, global policies, domestic policies, all of these, so it's early days yet. Mustn't scare, bring God's on our backs. So that's being said. Uh, so Justin Trudeau was there, but Justin Trudeau has lost his memory. He was assaulted at home. I know this from the children, the older children who are having a really tough time. He's legally separated from his wife. So the natural question is, where is his wife, right? Taking care of Sophie Gregoire, but he's legally separated from her. He has full custody of his three children, and they continue to live in Rideau Cottage, although the internet says Rockcliffe. But he's looking for houses. Rockcliffe may not be the right place because there are not many sidewalks. You can walk in areas, beautiful houses though, like Kingsway and Royal York, lovely houses, big houses. But I won't be saying really big houses. I love to admire, but work maybe a little much. I had cleaning staff years ago, but I would still clean. I mean, to keep it nice and clean. So he's lost his memory. He's become 18, and he witnessed even disturbing incident. But he does not recognize his children. A lot of things. A lot of things are normal for him. Taking him to the throne speech. If I were to go, I would feel really out of place, maybe, or drink it all in. But his father was prime minister, so this is something to do with his father. He thinks so. It's very hard. All right. So he gets nervous. Back then, Back to the Future was a movie 1 and 2, and he thinks maybe he's traveled in future. He's in 2025. I tried telling him through a sort of email source, yeah. But his son suffered a tragic assault as well by a person unknown, and he was in hospital, and I helped out. I don't think his father was really let in on the truth completely because they were worried he would be assaulted again. And this is the same case with the children, and they are disappointed because their father is not recognizing them. But he's very friendly. I mean, he sees resemblances, and he says, and I sort of through, in my own way, tease him. Yeah, Pierre had a little fun. Pierre gave way to my seduction, and I'm from the FLQ movement, and I would like to seduce. Seduction is my game, and that sort of thing. But I think it's a lot to digest for him in a way. But he's lost his memory. This is all. I'm showing pictures. He thinks it's his father. So I'm looking up all the videos. Margaret Trudeau was also very, very special, very cultured, and she wrote a feminist. There was this video with Peter Mansbridge where she sounded sexy, but the rest of them very self-assured, very stylish, but not sexy. All right, expected of a prime minister's ex-wife. She remarried Pierre Elliott Trudeau's staff member. So anyway, coming back to Xavier Trudeau, nobody's going to confirm this because they're going to be scared more is going to happen. He's going to say, I have a friend who sought a change of identity because he was assaulted twice. And I sort of got a phone call from a friend, from a female friend, but she was scared. She's close by. She lives close by. She said it could be me. He could blame me because he does not want to be, assaulted again. So they would not pick up the phone. I sent email distress signals, and I also feel distress signals sometimes, pain and that sort of thing. It's a tall tale to believe, but trust me, it happens to me, and I wouldn't lie about it. But and I go to the doctor. He or she is going to think I'm a hypochondriac because there's nothing going to be wrong with me. It's a little difficult. So try not to do this sort of thing. But here he's lost his memory. So the boy jumps. None of the jokes are being a little sexually maybe harassed by persons unknown, and that person was caught with this little young boy, 17-year-old, and Justin Trudeau, with his memory loss, witnessed it, and he finds it odd. It could be the mother. Even Kalidasa said, a male character in Kalidasa said, look to your son, but that's not right. They're young. You shouldn't take their youth away. But, each to his or her own. And I will confess, though, I cannot relate to this. My son, sometimes I do feel a little, he's little, but that's not right, I think. Besides, yeah, and incest is not right. But when he was about 2.5 months old, summer, I was still breastfeeding him a couple of times. Confession, because I don't want to pass judgment on these women. All right, it's not right. It's not right from the child's point of view. That's what I want to say. Right from 13, do they want sex, sexual contact? I don't think they really want it. So yeah, and the Candelbra has samosa filling for okay, just an aside for Jagmeet Singh, just an aside. But coming back, they don't want sexual contact. And anyways, he jumps a mile, and he witnessed something, even harder to digest and to assimilate. And he thinks it's peers, little fun peer having little fun, more children. This Pierre Trudeau, Elliot Trudeau, his reputation is growing in Canada. So, anyways, we'll all pray for Justin Trudeau, and we wish the best of his health to come back. His health card is lost. It's really hard for me. My email does not function well. I've even thought of a cure. Inadvertently, it's Alzheimer's. It's a cure for Alzheimer's. All right, acetylcholine administered periodically as antibiotics every 4 times a day, and or is it 3 times? Once in 8 hours, I think, 3 times a day. And acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. I thought of acetylcholine, looked up the internet. There are enzymes which improve memory loss, but that's kind of slow. There are food, of course. I mean, it's a slow process. But this man has not been having food properly. So please reach out to the president of the Ottawa General Hospital and say, feed him. He was a valuable man in our lives for so many years. His father, as we hear, has done good work in Canada, has fought. He was born Canadian, died Canadian, did a lot for the country. All right, so as Justin Trudeau did. All right, but now we're in Mark Carney's time, and Mark Carney has to come to our rescue. All right, so signing off, Gayatri Sitaram. Thank you, and I hope everything works out.